Hey all, so this is just a warm-up to remind ourselves what we ended last class with, which was simplifying these negative radicals, or radicals with negative numbers underneath them. So remember, the big goal is that we know that I is equal to the square root of -1. So anytime you see that negative under the radical, that means you want to bring an I out front, and then the radical just turns into a normal square root. So that way you lose the negative. Now it is something that we can indeed take the square root of. If we type the square root of 64 into a calculator, you get 8. It is a perfect square. So since the square root of 64 equals 8, that means this simplifies down to 8i. Okay, so for square root of -20, same deal. We have a negative under the square root. That means it comes out and turns into an I. And now we can deal with the square root as we usually do. Square root of 20 is not a perfect square, so this means we have to go to our factor tree. So 20 is 2 times 10. 10 is 2 times 5. Remember, once we extend something further, we can cross off the one above. We're looking for pairs. So there's a pair of 2's here, so we can bring a 2 out front. The I is still out front. And then we're left with the 5 inside. Next one, so this one has an extra like 2 plus at the beginning of it. It still works the same. That's the real part of the expression. We don't have to do anything with that. We just take this negative for the 9. We want to bring that out front, so this turns into 2 plus I root 9, and now we deal with this radical. Square root of 9 is equal to 3. That is a perfect square, so this will turn into 2 plus 3i. Last one here, same deal. The 8 is outside the radical. It's by itself. It is our real part. That doesn't affect it. What we care about is getting this negative out and then simplifying the square root. So this turns into a minus I root 32. But now we have to simplify that root 32. It is not a perfect square, so we can break it down. We have 2 times 16, which can break down to 4 times 4. Both of those can break down to 2, 2, and 2, 2. So remember, once we break it down, we can ignore it. So we're looking at the ends of all these for any pairs that we might have. So here we have a pair of 2's, we have another pair of 2's, and then we still have one left that will stay inside. So we have 8 minus, remember when we bring multiple things out front, we have to multiply them together. So essentially this turns into 2 times 2, radical with the 2 left inside. 2 times 2 is 4. Don't forget we have the I, and then root 2. So there's just another little taste of how we simplify these radicals with negative insides.